And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Hockey Night on Broad Flyers pregame show. Tonight, the Philadelphia Flyers play host to the Pittsburgh Penguins as they meet up for I think it's the third time this season as they meet up for the first of a back-to-back and a home-and-home in the Battle of Pennsylvania here at Wells Fargo Center. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm your host, James Scorza, here for the next 15 minutes or so after a very good win by the Flyers on Saturday afternoon against the Edmonton Oilers, looking to try to get back on track once again here tonight and try to make it two straight here tonight in South Philadelphia. Mitch Kofsky joins us on the show. What's going on, Mitch? How you doing, buddy? Overall, not much, man. Just making sure that doing pretty good on this very important night. Obviously, yesterday was my birthday, so the big 3-0 for me. So all good here, my brother. Hope all is well with you. Hopefully, kind of feel sorry for you. I had to do like a Sixer show, but it's all good. I mean, it's all good, and all that. And, I mean, hey, you're entitled to come on a show come on the Flyers show anytime, any place, anyhow, right? So let's get into our recap of the previous game, and it was a very good game on Saturday night. I wouldn't say Saturday night, but Saturday afternoon in South Philadelphia between the Flyers and Edmonton, as the Flyers coming off the Four Nations face-off a couple nights ago, and also coming off the 2-week hiatus of a couple players from Canada, Finland, and United States, and even Sweden. A couple players that were playing in that Four Nations face-off were Flyers players, and they played very well on this very important night. So the first period for the Flyers, it was a very good one for the Orange and Black because it opening scoring, and speaking of Mitch Kofsky, you want to talk about Matvei Michkov, he got the opening scoring to give the Flyers an early 1-0 lead around the first couple minutes into under the 2-minute mark of the first period. But Edmonton will get a response as they would try to get the score tied at 1-1. It was John Klingberg tying the score up at 1-1. And like I said early on in my pregame show on Saturday, I said to myself, yeah, I would have thought so. Again, my channel is based on Sixers, and he's doing a face bomb. Yeah, dude, I know. I can't. I mean, not a good way last night to see the Sixers. Like I said in for my score. I mean, obviously my birthday was yesterday, but not seeing the Sixers play well. I mean, I actually feel sorry that you had to watch that horrible team. But he also said, "Yes, I scored." I mean, he played well. He did play well on Sunday. He played well on Saturday, so it was good to know about that too. But back to the highlight reel as the Flyers had. So it was Leon Draisaitl, like I said, the guy that you had to keep a close eye on that very important game. That game. They basically kept Connor McDavid in check in that first period, but Edmonton had the lead in that first period and will stay that way after 20 minutes in the books. But in the second period, right after the Flyers, it was kind of like the same similar commonality that the Flyers had in a majority of the first period. And early on in the second period, it was Owen Tipp again, a good pass from Matvei Michkov, like I alluded to. Once again, it was Owen Tippett on the breakaway and giving the Flyers an advantage and equalizing the score up at 2-2. But the big positive coming out of that game was Matvei Michkov becoming a real positive passer for that game, especially setting up Captain Coots in the third goal of the game to make it a 3-2 Flyers lead. But right back, though, came the Oilers, though. It was Matthias Ekholm who tied the score up at 3-3 apiece. But it was the last time Edmonton scored in that game because, once again, Michkov setting up Owen Tippett to give the Flyers a 4-3 lead. And the good news about it, too, was that later on in the second period, it was the new guy coming off, and there was a couple of new Flyers coming into their own on this very important matchup. It was obviously, I think before the game, Jacob Peltier was the guy that finally decided, his visa was okay. Everything was all good with that. Good to see him in action in the Flyers game against Edmonton. And the Flyers will get another goal, like I mentioned, from a new member for the Flyers, and that was Andrei Kuzmenko to give the Flyers a 5-3 lead and would stay that way after not 20, but after 40 minutes in the books. But the Flyers will get one more out of it, and it was Rasmus Ristolainen to give them a 3-goal cushion from far away distance to give the Flyers a 6-3 lead, and would stay that way until the good news about that too is that it was much needed that the Flyers needed to get off that bye, like try to get on track after that 2-week bye week. And the positive come out of it is that after the Flyers coming out of it and having a lot of positivity after that 2-week bye week on the Four Nations faceoff, and they looked very well that night in South Philadelphia, and the final was 6-3 that night here in South Philadelphia. As we set the stage for this game here tonight between the Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Battle of Pennsylvania. For the Flyers, though, this is the thing I said coming into this game here tonight after coming off a really good 60 minutes of complete hockey on Saturday afternoon. The most important thing about it, too, is that it was much needed to get on that 2-week hiatus to see what they were made of, and especially what they needed to do coming out of that 2-week hiatus. And they played very, very well against Edmonton, keeping them in check and also keeping Connor McDavid in check along the way as well. So it was good to seeing that on that Saturday afternoon. And the positive about it is that they can continue that trend. They can continue that trend here tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins at South Philadelphia, the first of a home and home. But speaking of the Penguins, as for the Penguins is concerned, kind of look like the Penguins are not playing the best hockey like they used to. Obviously, you think of Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang, and the list goes on and on. I'm not going to say I'm a homer card, but we all know how much they were feisty back in the day about how great the Penguins were going back to their Stanley Cup championship 10 years. But by the way, before I go one step further, I want to give my sincere condolences and my sincere sympathy as the Penguins and the National Hockey League had lost a family member in the Pittsburgh Penguins family. That was Mike Lang, the great announcer for the Pittsburgh Penguins, tragically lost his life over the weekend. It's one of those things that I was a big fan of his going back when I was a kid. I always liked hearing his catchphrases and all. It kind of got me into the sport of hockey, hearing those kinds of things along with Mike Emmerich as well. But my sincere condolences go out to the Lang family, and hopefully everybody will be hopefully everybody is nursing it okay. Gone way too soon. That's the one thing you don't want to hear, and especially how grateful he was. He actually called games for the Penguins not even long ago, like around maybe 3-4 years ago. But like I said, my sincere condolences go out to the Penguins family and Mike Lang's family during this tough and rough time in the Steel City. So my sincere condolences go out to the Lang and the Penguins family on this night. All right, let's go into who's trending up and who's trending down on this night. For the Flyers' sake, this is actually a real good stat here. According to Flyers senior insider Bill Metzler, saying that the Tippett, Couturier, and Matvei Michkov line combination has been look like it's playing a lot better than they have, and I think this was probably either something that John Tortorella put up or Rocky Thompson put up on Saturday afternoon, and it paid dividends. And again, in the game against Edmonton on Saturday afternoon. And I guess I would expect more of the same here tonight from that lineup here tonight as well. And the good news about it, too, is that it looks to me that Andrei Kuzmenko, you saw that celebration when he scored that goal. It was kind of like, it was like his first goal of this. I wouldn't say his first goal in the National, but kind of had that same kind of similarity to say that obviously he was really ecstatic about scoring that goal. So I can understand he's probably really excited to be here. So good to see Kuzmenko score his first goal as a member of the Flyers, and hopefully there'll be more the same here tonight like it was on Saturday afternoon. But who's trending down though, but this is something for the Penguins' sake is a good thing for the Penguins' sake as well. But it's not a positive. Obviously, goaltender problems are always a big problem. I mean, we can relate to that as well. Obviously, they have a goaltender situation with Alex Nedeljkovic, and early on in the season, seeing Tristan Jarry go to waivers or even like sent down to Wilkes-Barre Scranton as they were desperately looking for answers, and also they're still trying to looking for answers with their goaltender situation. So I would expect more the same here tonight between the Flyers and the Penguins. But like I said, goaltender problems are always nothing to be happy about, obviously, because we went through that. I mean, we're still doing it, but we're still trying to figure out on the outside, looking at how we can try to fix that goaltender problem, and I can expect more the same for the Penguins' sake as well. All right, let's check into our injury report tonight, the injuries and scratches for this game. So I think it's expecting the same. I didn't see any but similar injuries on the injury front. I mean, obviously, the only injury that I did see that was significant, maybe just a scratch, was I think it's just Alexei Kolosov he's not in the lineup, but he's with the guys. He's with the Flyers, obviously, so he'll be the third goaltender. I expect Eric Johnson to be back in the lineup tonight, and I think they put not Eric Johnson, but Nick Delorier rather on injured reserve. So, like I said, that's the only big injury coming out of it too, is that Nick Delorier is going to miss a lot of time now and he's going to be on. I won't say a long-term IR, but it could be like injured reserve for the time being, but he's been dealing with an injury all season long, so I guess it lingered again. So Delorier is going to miss some time due to that injury as well. All right, let's get into our starting goaltender matchup for this game here tonight. In goal tonight for the Flyers, it will be Sam Ersson back in goal tonight after a very good outing on Saturday afternoon against the Edmonton Oilers, as he looked very, very well. And actually looked very well in that Four Nations face-off in Montreal and up in Boston. And for his record this season, he is 17-10-3 this season and has a goals against average of 2.81. And for the Pens, it will be Alex Nedeljkovic, like I mentioned early on, and the Who's Trending Down topic portion of our show. He is also 10-12-5 this season and has a goals against average of 3.06. And for my predictions in this game here tonight, as for the Flyers, I expect more of the same here tonight. I expect more of a positive for the Flyers, and also maybe more of a positive for everybody else to see what they're capable of against teams that are very good in the Eastern Conference. The Rangers are good, but they're coming around. The Capitals, I mean, the big story with the Capitals, it's just plain and simple. It's just Ovechkin trying to chase Wayne Gretzky's record, which, by the way, could come very sooner rather than later. And for the Hurricanes, they're just one team that's just playing very good right now. So that's the biggest keys in this game here tonight: how to keep control of that, and also how to keep everybody in line about what they're going to look like here in this game tonight, going into this game here tonight in South Philadelphia. All right, that's going to wrap it up here for the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show, but I will be back for the postgame show, to stay tuned after the game for on our sister station, Third Line John Flyers postgame show right here on Stream Punk Entertainment. Myself, Joey Marks, and Pat Bernard behind the glass will get you covered for that game here tonight. It will be I'm trying to figure out a schedule, so I will be back again I'll be back on Thursday night. So, but on Saturday night, I had to figure out what I'm going to do with that. So I would definitely, guys, keep you posted on that for that pre and post game show that night. So it's a little bit hectic. I got some other stuff going on that night, but I will definitely ask the boss man what I should do with that along the way. But like I said, I will be back again on Thursday night for the second game of a back-to-back between the Flyers and the Pens. This one will be at 7:30 at PBG Paints Arena, and at 7 o'clock pregame show right here on Hardcore Sports Network. That will wrap things up, everything for tonight for this portion of the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. Remember, like I said, stay tuned after the game for the Third Line John Flyers postgame show with myself and also Joey Marks and Pat Bernard behind the glass. But this has been the Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show. And I'm your host, James Scorza, saying thank you for watching, and also thank you to everybody who tuned in, and also my good friend who is going to be hopefully watching this Flyers game tonight to try to nurse that Sixers terminology about what's going to happen, but then more so like that. But until then, I will see you back here for the post-game show. Until then, this has been Hockey Night on Board Flyers pregame show, and I'm your host, James Scorza, saying thanks for watching. Until then, we will see you next time.